Sakura Dreams by Beth Coffey. Chapter 6. A week after submitting her application, she received an email from Tokyo Metropolitan University. They expressed their excitement to begin the application process and had emailed all of the necessary information. The majority of the required documentation was digital, which streamlined the process. The only physical paperwork she needed to send was her high school transcripts, which thankfully did not need to be translated into Japanese. It seemed she had made a wise choice during her elimination process. She still hadn't heard back from the other school she applied to, so she hoped this one would accept her and she could start in the upcoming semester. Her dad had generously agreed to pay her tuition, which was a huge relief. He had a good job and could cover the cost without any issue. The process of completing the application and collecting the required documentation was surprisingly efficient, taking only 2 weeks. With the application submitted, she was left in a state of anticipation, waiting for the school to reach a decision. The waiting period was filled with anxiety and impatience, but she made a conscious effort to maintain a positive outlook and channel her energy into exploring Tokyo. Her phone buzzed 2 weeks later, causing a wave of anxiety to wash over her as she rode the Tokyo Metro and saw the school's name appear. She worried that they wouldn't be calling unless it was bad news, and quickly answered to prevent the anxiety from spiraling out of control. "This is Nakata Mari, the admission counselor at Tokyo Metropolitan University. Is this Alix?" Most of her communication with them had been through email and text, so she didn't recognize the voice. "Yes, this is Alix." She forced her voice to sound calm, using the breathing technique her therapist had taught her many years ago. "I have some good news, Alix. Your application has been accepted. Congratulations! You are now officially a student at TMU." The woman sounded actually thrilled to be the one to share the news. "That is great news. Thank you so much." The two talked for a little while, discussing what the next steps would be. The counselor told Alix she would be sending an information packet to her email that detailed the required steps and the order in which they needed to be completed. Once those were done, they could make the decisions about what she wanted to major in, which program she might be interested in, and to start choosing her first classes. As Alix hung up the phone, she realized she had missed her stop. She would have to get off at the next stop and figure out how to get back to where she lived. Stepping onto the platform and checking the signs, she realized she had only missed it by 3 stops. She could easily walk to her apartment building without needing to get back on the train. She needed some fresh air anyway to stop the panic attack threatening to overtake her. The exciting yet daunting news of her upcoming university enrollment left her uneasy. Would she be able to keep up, let alone excel? Thankfully, the station she exited at turned out to be only a few blocks from her building. She'd had to walk this route once before, when she had gotten off the train at the wrong stop the first week she lived here. Thinking about how much had changed since then made Alix smile. Living in Tokyo had turned out to be an amazing experience, and she deeply appreciated her mother for allowing her to be part of this adventure. As she neared home, she decided to stop at the 7-Eleven to grab an iced coffee for her and her mom to celebrate the good news. Her mom should be home by now, and Alix could barely contain the excitement of letting her know she had been accepted into TMU. Making her way to the iced coffee center, she grabbed 2 cups of ice and 2 pre-made drinks. She would pour the coffee into the cups when she got home. Walking to the cash register, she saw a guy that looked familiar. Rin, her neighbor that had startled her. Perhaps she had been too hasty after their initial encounter. Since they were neighbors, now seemed like a good time to try to fix it. She stood behind him, waiting for her turn to be checked out. She didn't know how she should approach him. She kind of freaked out last time they met. Just then he turned around to leave. Noticing her, he smiled. "Hey, nice to see you again." He moved aside for her to talk to the cashier. "Hi, yeah, nice to see you too." Can we talk for a minute when I finish? She stepped up and handed her items to the cashier. Sure, I'll wait out front. Rin left the store and she could see him standing outside. After she paid, Alix stepped outside, moving away from the door so she wouldn't block anyone. I wanted to apologize for the way I acted when we first met. I'm still pretty new around here, and I guess it startled me a bit to be noticed. Rin nodded. Yeah, I've been thinking about what happened, and I'm the one who should apologize. Seeing that I made you uncomfortable, I shouldn't have followed you into the building. A slight blush colored his cheeks. Then let's pretend none of it happened, and start over. Alix laughed at the thought, but to her surprise, Rin held out his hand. Hi, I'm Rin. As if greeting her for the first time, he introduced himself. I live in your apartment building. I've seen you come and go a few times and thought I'd be neighborly and introduce myself. Alix shook the hand he extended and smiled. So nice to meet you, Rin. My name is Alix. We moved in just over a month ago, so I've not met many of our neighbors. Alix let go of Rin's hand, thinking he seemed like a genuinely pleasant person. Is it all right if I walk with you into the building? I'm heading home now. Rin gestured toward the entrance of the apartment where the doorman stood. Alix nodded and led the way. She felt much better about this interaction than she had the first time. The two walked in silence to the elevator. As they got there, the door slid open and a crowd of people stepped out. They let the people filter out before stepping in, and without thinking, Alix pushed the button for her floor. Rin then pushed the button for one floor above hers. So, we really are neighbors, she said, surprised. It suddenly made sense why he'd seen her around. They likely had even shared the elevator a few times without her even realizing. With so many people coming and going, the elevators could get quite crowded at certain times of day. Yeah, as I said before, I have seen you get in the elevator a few times, so I already knew what floor you lived on. He shrugged his shoulders, but didn't say more. Nodding just as the elevator came to a stop on her floor. It's been nice meeting you, Rin. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk again another time. Stepping out, she turned to say goodbye. I'd like that. Bye. He vanished as the doors slid shut. Why didn't she think of exchanging numbers? I mean, sure, they could run into each other again, but wouldn't it have been easier to make it happen intentionally? Oh well, maybe next time her brain would be working on all gears. As she opened her apartment door, she heard the elevator ding and the doors slide open. Hey, Alix, wait! Rin rushed out, his phone in hand. Alix laughed as he ran down the hallway. Great minds do think alike, it seems. Can I get your number? I know a great coffee shop not too far away. Maybe we could go have coffee together one day. Rin held his phone out to her. Sounds great. She took the phone and added her name and number to his contact list. I do like a good coffee shop. There are so many here it's hard to choose sometimes, so getting a recommendation from a local would be great. He retrieved his phone and sent her a brief text. It simply said, "Hello." Then he turned and walked back to the elevator without saying another word. Alix laughed and shook her head as she stepped into the apartment. Who was that, Alix? Her mom asked with a smile, relaxing on the sofa and glancing at the door. I met Rin the other day while getting iced coffee. He lives upstairs from us, on the next floor. She pulled a cup of ice from the bag and handed it to her mother, along with one of the pre-made coffees. These are surprisingly good, she remarked, noting the cute little pouches reminding her of kids' juice boxes. Alix's mom furrowed her brow in confusion. You met him the other day, and just now he's at the door asking for your number? She couldn't understand why they hadn't just exchanged numbers during their initial encounter. As Alix poured herself a cup of coffee, she settled in beside her mom and recounted the tale of their first meeting. Oh, makes sense now. Her mom understood how it wouldn't have been a good time to ask for Alix's number. Glad it worked out better this time. Now you'll have a friend to hang out with, who will be able to show you around the city. Alix smiled to herself, knowing her mother would be perplexed. She wasn't exactly known for being a social butterfly, so the idea of her suddenly making a lot of new friends was sure to raise an eyebrow. "I'll be making a lot of new friends soon," she announced. "And how will you be doing that?" Eileen looked at her, one eyebrow raised. "I got accepted to Tokyo Metro University. I should be able to start in the fall." Alix clapped her hands together in excitement. "I have to fill out some more paperwork, and then we can start picking classes and my major and all that fun stuff." "Oh, Alix, I'm thrilled about this new chapter for you. It's a big step, and I'm sure you'll meet tons of new friends at school." A tear fell from the corner of her eye. Attending college was a major life event, but studying in a foreign country could be even more challenging. "Thanks, Mom. Now I have to decide what it is I want to study." Alix shook her head. She had no idea what career path she wanted to take. So the next few days would be spent going through the course catalog and seeing what exactly her options were.